What up, yo?
Good evening,
Don't adjust your set.
infidels. Sorry.
Don't adjust your viewing device. Yes, we both look like crap. It's been a long week. Bear with us. We're going to put on a good show regardless. So, what's going on, everybody? This is Mac and Alamo with the Battle Bros podcast. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Dee. I don't even know the words of that, so it's okay.
I don't either. It's okay.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to see you back. Glad to have you back. Thank you for stopping by yet again for another interesting conversation about something important.
Yes.
We're going to talk about
Indeed.
something important. So, yeah, let's if you haven't been by to check us out before, thanks for stopping by. Make sure that you like, follow, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff to our various social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. There are various ways you can consume what we offer.
Correctamundo.
Just not at like the Golden Corral, because that's a different kind of consumption.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah. So, cool beans. So, if you caught our last week's episode.
By the way, link to last week's episode right in the description.
Yeah. Good stuff. So, last week's episode we talked about growth, and that was episode 050. You can check out what we talked about there. Pretty good conversation that we had about that. Check it out. We think they're awesome. We've been told that we're a little bit biased because, hey, it's our podcast, so but we are a little bit proud of what we do. Emphasis on the proud.
Indeed.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. Stomping of cloven feet, kind of thing. That's a little bit of a teaser, by the way. So yeah, if you get a chance. Oh, so let's talk about some current events before we get into our show. We'll get those knocked out of the way first. So a couple of current events. Thanks to all of you wonderful people out there. We were actually going over some analytics from our YouTube channel, and we have over 1,000 views on our channel watching our different episodes. So thank you to everybody out there. I'm only responsible for 100 of those myself. So for the rest of you 900 people out there, awesome. Yeah, not even 100. It's like maybe a couple. But yeah, so that's pretty awesome. That's pretty dope. Thank you so much, guys and the gals.
Indeed.
And, we're not gonna just
thank you
anybody
for helping us reach 1,000 views, and we hope to be with you into the 5s and the 10s.
Yeah, I'm really tired today, guys. So just bear. If I seem a little off, that's why. I'm just I'm running strictly on caffeine and personality, and both of those are running out. So
he's just slightly over caffeinated.
I'm under caffeinated is a problem. I'm running out of caffeine. So if somebody wants to drop by my place and just put a monster in my hand, that would be fantastic.
The monster juice,
as opposed to this guy here. He likes the what are they called? The
Jocko Discipline Goes. Not our sponsor. I just like them.
Discipline Go, yeah. And Monster's not our sponsor anyway. We do kind of have somebody that we're going to be talking about. Not a sponsor, but we do have a little bit of a company, a business that we want to give a shout out to. We'll do that later on in the show. But so we 1,000 views. What was the other? Oh, so congrats to the folks at Black Rifle Coffee for the completion of the 777 expedition. So if you folks haven't heard about this is a pretty ambitious thing they did. So Black Rifle Coffee Company partnered with an organization called Folds of Honor. And what Folds of Honor does is they provide scholarships to children of fallen warriors and first responders, military, all that kind of stuff. So what they did, the 777 expedition basically was this very ambitious plan to do 7 skydives in 7 days on 7 continents, and they have successfully completed that as of Monday, January 16th, with their last jump into Perth, Australia. So congratulations to those guys. That's just absolutely freaking amazing. Yeah, there's a great picture right there of them jumping over the pyramids. That's so stinking cool,
I
man.
know.
It's
And the
just
way the way they actually you could see it that they timed it so perfectly because it just they're literally arms like grouped together right around the center freaking pyramid.
just amazing.
Amaze balls.
Yeah,
Amaze balls.
right there in Cairo. That's just so awesome. But so and it was crazy. They started off the first jump that they did was on the Union Glacier in Antarctica, and it's
Mhm.
like everybody's like, "Yeah, that's not really not that hard." Okay, so let's look at that. Like you're jumping into basically a featureless landscape. I mean, you're in that snow, yeah, so it's not going to hurt that bad. But also, you have to very carefully gauge it because
Yeah.
I mean, you might have mountains and stuff off to the side where they were jumping. I think there was a couple of peaks
Mhm.
to in one direction or the other.
Well, I mean,
But
another thing too, snow blindness is freaking that's freaking real shit, man. Like there's a reason why the snow caps are the way they are. Like they reflect sunlight like really hardcore, man.
so they
And
were talking Andy Stump's channel. He was showcasing some of the videos. He has his it's called the Cleared Hot podcast, and he posted a bunch of videos
yeah.
chronicling the different jumps that they did. He was actually showing. I was showing it to my daughter. Like they were down in Antarctica for like a week prior to that, just to kind of acclimatize and whatnot. But dude, like they have these tents set up. It's a pretty big camp. Like the tents are probably within like you can fit two people in them, two bunks, two little beds and stuff, and they were like maybe 50 to 75 yards apart. So like they're spread out over a good stretch and all this crazy stuff. But with like the sun never went down the whole time they were down there. It's
Yeah.
sunlight all the time. She's like, "How would you sleep like that?" I'm like, "Very carefully." She's like,
Yeah.
"I'd smash a pillow over my face." I'm like, "Probably not wrong.
Yeah, you'd probably end
Not
up
wrong.
suffocating yourself, but
Just close this." Because also too, like the tents they have, it's a double shelled tent, and it's pretty cool. He's even said he's like, I'm not a tent guy, but they were going over the stuff and just explaining all the different things they had and the equipment and whatnot. And like you're jumping out of an airplane, so they had 4 airplanes down there. They had two DC-3s, which is very very similar, I believe, to like a C-47 Skytrain from that time frame and whatnot. But they jumped out of one of those, and it was just like the imagery that they have is just absolutely stunning. So the timer started as soon as the first guy, which happened to be Andy, landed on the ground. So the timer started, and they jumped into Perth. I believe with the last guy, it was right at 150 hours. So that's
nice.
6 days, 6 hours, 6 minutes and change. It's like triple six. Whoa. So
Yeah.
we're not going to go. That ain't like, ha, 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 ooh.
Mhm.
But
Ooh.
congratulations to those guys. They have set quite a few world records with that. They had some guys that were just doing the regular jumps. They had a couple of guys that were doing tandem jumps and whatnot. So it's just it's an amazing thing. And I want to say that they ended up like raising quite a bit of money, like quite a bit of money. So congrats to those guys on their accomplishment. That's insanely awesome. Um, that's just kind of the stuff that legends are made of, man. It's freaking super, super. Just it's amazing. I'm so stoked
It's
about
bad
that.
ace.
Yeah, I mean, they were flying for just nonstop here, there, everywhere, and it sucks too because
They're everywhere.
after that was done, they were in Skydive City in Zephyr Hills on Wednesday.
Hmm.
I was like, man, I would have taken off of work to go see that, shake those guys' hands, man. Holy shit!
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that's our current events piece for this episode. So we can get into the nitty gritty of what we're going to talk about now. So, as if you didn't quite catch the hint, hint, wink, wink earlier, we're going to be talking about pride and why that can be kind of a double-edged sword. It can be a good thing, and it can kind of also be a bad thing. So, let's kick it, as they say,
Let's do it.
as the young guys say. Let's hit. So, what exactly is pride? So, the definition that we looked up. So, pride, a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. Okay? So, different things there. It could be something you've done, something others around you've done, or just things, qualities, possessions that are admired by others. Okay, so what? Let's talk about the good first. Okay, so you know, let's break it down. Good for military, and then good for civilian. So when you're talking about pride, there's a lot of pride that comes from just the simplest thing is just your branch affiliation. Marines are proud of being Marines, and Army guys
Yeah.
are proud of being Army, and anybody that's
Especially us infantry grunts.
oh yeah, especially as knuckle dragging fuckers. Absolutely,
Yeah, we got a blue cord, bitch. Yeah.
we're the emotional support guys. So never mind. But
Mm,
anyway,
indeed.
that's the blue disc. That's what that means. It means emotional
Yeah.
support,
Yes.
drill sergeant. Yes,
Jesus.
yeah, absolutely,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean, just the fact like you get some guys together that are kind of shooting the shit. I mean, it just kind of goes from there. You get guys that are proud of being in the Air Force. You get guys, like anybody that just joined up the Space Force is probably super proud of that shit. It's like you're at the start of
I was gonna say
us.
because they're the initial ones.
Yeah,
They're the beginning of the force of
absolutely.
space. I still say
Space,
I still say we
Space
I
Force,
100% agree with Mac when we need to get a fucking space ranger in there,
dude. Straight up,
man. Dude, we need to get a
just
space
first
ranger.
guy, first guy. You see, come on.
I don't even care if it's like a ranger certified like helicopter pilot or like fucking whatever. I don't care. They need to be there needs
Space.
to be a space
I'm
ranger.
just waiting for the first guy to be named Lightyear. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you
And
have you
not
have
that Disney crap that we got
it's
given
not it's not
recently.
it's not crap. You didn't like
Yeah.
the Lightyear movie?
I I mm. If it wasn't Tim Allen, man. It just wasn't Tim
Oh, I
Allen.
get that. I think Chris Evans did a good job with it though.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, it's an origin story, so there is that. So
Also valid too.
I
But
mean, that's what
Tim
that's what
Allen.
they do nowadays. I get it. Tim Allen's OG.
Yeah.
Woot woot. So,
Hmm.
but yeah. So going, just your basic branch affiliation, whether it's Army, Navy, Marine, Air Force. I mean, there's a lot of pride for that. I'm very proud of my service in the Army. I'm very proud of being in the Army. I'm proud of being a soldier during the global war on terrorism. Just I'm sure as maybe not originally, but guys that served in Vietnam, they're proud of that. Especially nowadays when
Yeah.
they got the younger guys coming in and saying, "We look up to you. You guys are badasses. You got the kind
Mhm.
of the shit end of the stick when you came home. We're sorry,
Oh
but
yeah. It really did. Like,
thanks for your
looking back
service
at
and
that
welcome the
stuff,
fuck
man.
home."
It
Yeah,
makes you sad when you look at how some of these guys were treated when they got back home. Or I should
and
say a vast majority of them when they came back home. It was
yeah,
pretty jacked up.
absolutely. But so then breaking that, going down, to the smaller, going down to the next the next smaller level, um, just what you do in your unit that you're assigned to. There's a lot of pride in
Absolutely.
there. I mean, look, let's
Hmm.
talk about you, dude. You were with 3-2 Striker Cav, and there's a lot of prestige and pride that goes
Oh
along with that. So,
God, yeah.
kind of
Dude,
give us. So, what? So, for those that don't know, Alamo, what is special? Let me rephrase that. What is the lineage of the 3-2 Striker Cav? What is like they have a special title? I believe it's Dragoons.
yes.
So explain that
Um
to us.
so basically the second cavalry regiment was obviously, duh. It was a cavalry regiment that started, I believe, uh actually I can eight or 1836. It started in 1836. So they were
That's
pretty
just
much,
under 200 years. That's pretty dope.
yeah, yeah. Um, and we had a lot of really big freaking battles that we were in specifically when places in like World War I, which I believe is where uh, we earned the ability or earned the privilege of using the fleur de lis from the French, which is why our unit motto is "Toujours prêt," which is always ready. Um,
Oh,
but I
that's what that
mean,
stands for. Oh, I didn't
yeah,
know. I didn't know that.
toujours toujours prêt.
I knew that said that on your shoulder patch,
Mhm.
but I didn't know what that meant.
And it's really freaking cool when you just kind of look back at like so many different accomplishments. I mean, we have oh god, excuse me.
Good push.
World War, yeah, I know. World War II accomplishments, accomplishments that we achieved during World War One, Vietnam, freaking Korea, um, hell, freaking even during the global war on terror. You know what I mean? There was a lot that was accomplished by the unit itself, and you know if I remember correctly, it had been a long time since there when we got reflagged to be not just a cavalry regiment but an infantry cavalry regiment. It'd been a long time since there were actually dragoons going into combat.
Correct
Uh,
me if I'm wrong. Let me interject real quick, bud.
hmm
Correct me if I'm wrong. You started off, you were at Fort Lewis, which is
hmm
now Joint Base Lewis McChord.
hmm
So you started off as a 25th Stryker Brigade combat team.
Yes.
Then you became second ID because you ended up wearing Indian head for a while.
Strawberry Patch.
Right, so that's 25th. Weren't you assigned at one point to Second Infantry Division, which
The
has got the
first to 24th. Deuce Foe.
okay. I just for some reason I thought you used to wear Indian head, which is like that shield with a star with the Indian head stuff. But so you
Yeah.
went from 25th Stryker Brigade combat team, and then you got reflagged into to 3-2 Stryker Cav, and then you guys ended up moving
Yeah.
over into Vilsec, over into
hmm
Germany.
Yes.
So
Um, it was honestly, and
continue on, my man. Sorry to interrupt.
it's kind of one of those because if you look at first the 24th, I mean the Strawberry Patch. I mean, there were so many things that they accomplished during World War II. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head because honestly, the only time I was really looking that stuff up is when we were actually at the unit in now Joint Base Lewis McChord. Um, and we ended up getting sent to Germany. I would say fairly quickly. I got to Lewis McChord in early December. By
Yeah, it was fairly quick that you guys moved over across the ocean.
we were reflagged in August of 2006, and um we were in Europe by mid September.
Okay.
So it was a really quick move. We didn't get a chance to enjoy Washington State as much as we probably wanted to, as much
Yeah,
as probably I wanted to, because I really wanted to kind of get down and
there's a lot of cool stuff up there.
oh dude, yeah.
It's gorgeous up there.
Yeah,
Everybody's like,
dude.
"Oh, that rains too much." Shut up. We're used to it. So
Okay, so here's on the thing on the fleur de lis. The distinctive unit insignia was originally approved for the 2nd Cavalry Regiment on January 16th, 1923. Again, right after World War One. So the insignia was amended to change the 6-point star to an 8-point star to conform to the old Dragoon Star on April 28th, 1924. The 8-point star insignia was worn by the Dragoons, the Second Cavalry, having been originally formed as the Second Regiment of the Dragoons in 1836. The palmetto leaf represents the regiment's first action against the Seminole Indians in Florida,
that's funny.
where
Wow.
where the palmetto leaf grows in abundance. The fleur de lis is for combat service in France during both World War One and Two. The motto "Toujours prêt," always ready, expresses the spirit and élan of the regiment.
So that's about as good a segue as I get to mine. So
Boogity boogity.
it's like against the Seminole Indian tribes. Oh
That's why I was like,
no shit. So what was
Ooh.
cool about my unit is so originally there were three battalions for the 124th Infantry Regiment, which is the main um, part of it's the main it's the main it's infantry component of the 53rd Infantry Brigade Combat Team.
Yar.
There used to be three battalions. There's only two now because one of them. I'm going to look this up while I'm talking. Um, Switched over and reflagged into a different type of unit. So you have First Battalion, which is down in South Florida. So let's see here. Let's find the makeup. Yeah, so you have
Hello.
okay. So First Battalion. Wait, is that right? Oh, that's 1948. Whoops, that's incorrect. Let me find current day stuff for what I'm looking for.
Yeah, get that current stuff.
So yes, the why the hell am I having such a hard time with this? Oh,
Because you suck.
not wrong. So you have First Battalion, which is down in South Florida. So Second Battalion, which is what I was in. I was in originally in Charlie Company. At the time, they were in Orlando, but they have since moved up and co-located with Special Forces Company up in Ocala. So you've got Alpha Companies in Leesburg, Bravos in Sanford, Charlie is in Ocala, Eustis is for Home D Company. You have the Brigade Support Battalion, which is Company H in Haines City, and you have for which is a forward support company, and then you have headquarters in Orlando. We actually were at the
Yar.
headquarters armory. So, but what's neat about that is that we actually use the same colors and motto of the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida. So,
Nice.
like when we do, greeting of an officer, you salute, say Seminole, sir, and then they would respond by saying never surrender. So that was, we got special permission from the Seminole Indian tribe to actually use their colors and their motto and stuff. So there was a lot of pride and prestige when it comes to that. So Third Battalion used to be up in North Florida, but they turned into um, they reorganized and converted 3rd Battalion, 124th into 1st Squadron, 153rd Cavalry, which was constituted pretty much entirely of infantrymen from the 3rd Battalion to continue the lineage of that particular unit.
Yar.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's there was a
A
lot of
lot.
there was a lot of prestige in doing all that kind of stuff. So, and then just kind of also the um, just all the different stuff freaking that we were involved with. So it was good. It was a great unit to be involved with. I mean, it's like anybody else. There was ups and downs and this and that and the other, but it was a great unit. I was super proud to be a part of it and all that kind of stuff. So, and then so talking about the unit level, I mean that goes also. Think about all the other units that are out there. I mean, look at the lineage of like if you've seen Band of Brothers, you'd know about the 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment of 101st Airborne during World War II.
Yeah.
Um, the exploits of the Ranger Regiment in World War II. There is a unit. It's Bravo Company, 1st Battalion, 15th Infantry Regiment of the 3rd Infantry Division that is called the Audie Murphy Boys because this is the company that Audie Murphy was assigned to and ended up commanding later when he had a
Mhm.
battlefield commission stuff. So yeah, I mean, those are definitely all good examples of the good side of Pride, the positive. Let me restate that the positive
Audie
side.
Murphy wasn't a very tall guy either, was he?
No,
He
he
was in.
wasn't. He was short, so he couldn't like get into a lot
He
of
was
different
like
things.
5'3", wasn't he?
He was a short dude. Yeah, like
Yeah, it was something like that.
he tried to go into a bunch of different stuff, and it was like, didn't happen. So
Ah,
So,
See, we short people can do cool shit.
so what other? So let's look at the other side of, you know, pride. So we talk about like family and your company and your peers and friends and all the accomplishments and triumphs and victories and stuff they have. Like I was super thrilled. I had my daughter was asking me to help her with her homework the other day, and she kind of got really frustrated because she doesn't like to freaking do a lot of like long like essay question responses and that kind of stuff.
Good for you,
So
kiddo. I hate doing that crap too.
you listen to me, not to that guy. Okay. Anyway, so I told her, I said, she got frustrated and she was like kind of down on herself and doubting. I was like, listen, just calm it down. Let's go back and look at this. So she was doing like a comparative reading where she's talking about two articles that are like pro a topic and then against a topic, and it was like the topic of like e-readers, like Nooks and Kindles and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of went back and helped her because she in the directions told her to do something and she didn't do it. So I was like, I'll write it, whatever. So we went through and did the list, and then from there she could formulate a better answer. Well, she tells me the other day, she's like, Dad, I got an extra little goodie out of the goodie bag at school because my teacher was like super thrilled that I went and did beyond what was expected. So they get like a little goodie bag. She got two little squishy little finger little puppet thingies, and she got a piece of candy or something like that. And I was like, yeah.
Why do I keep why when you say piece of candy, like I think James would, ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy
What is that from?
from Family Guy. James Woods guest starred on that show like a few times. They haven't had him on because of
I have not seen Family Guy at all. So yeah, obnoxious sucking in of air by my cohort over here. But
yeah.
anyway, so like you're, I mean, not to the point of being a dad brag, but I was pretty proud of that because I just, I tried to, I'm very big on like teachable moments. So I was just trying to show her, it's like, put, just take your time, do a little bit of effort. She immediately, like, there was like 5 pages in this packet, front and back and stuff, 5 pages altogether. So she immediately, when I flipped over to the last page, she just looked at the bottom one and she was just like, getting upset. I'm like, chill, man. Like, let's one at a thing at a time. It's all good. It took a little bit of
Yeah.
time to get it done, but we got it done. And afterwards, she just felt really good about that, and I was super proud of her because of all that stuff. From get taking care of that, but different things with your family. Like, I can tell you I know for a fact that one of the proudest times that I would imagine one of the proudest moments my dad experiences was when he came up when I joined the army, and he saw me putting my cord on. I graduated basic and all that stuff, and yeah, I've never seen him cry like that, So
Yeah.
that was a good time.
Hell
But
yeah.
other things like you get involved, like look at you and me and like the guys we worked with um, in our professional careers. Like I was proud to be associated with a lot of these guys, all the guys we used to work with and stuff, and how they've gone on to do bigger and better things, and they're still just good quality, caliber people, and all that kind of stuff.
Damn right.
So, I mean, especially with like your kids. Your kids are doing martial arts and stuff, right? Too, is
Oh,
that correct?
dude. You know, Jaden and Marcus are like they both kind of have their quirks. Um, Jaden has a physical prowess that is it's absolutely ridiculous for for a kid his age, and seeing him.
I'm sorry. I'm a terrible friend. Jaden's the older one,
Jaden is the oldest.
so he's
Um,
got a good frame on him.
not just that, like it's ridiculous when you see him going through his forms and doing his training when he's doing taekwondo and things like that. It's I mean even when he was doing karate,
Yeah,
um, there's a level of focus I see in this kid that you know I don't see him put into a lot of other things. It seems to me like specifically because of the ADHD that I have. I'm pretty
sure.
sure. I'm pretty sure I passed it on to him and Marcus. So if you give him something that it
Yeah,
gives his energy a positive place to go, you see the focus there, and just the things he pulls off are, needless to say, to a certain just amazing.
Remarkable.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's ridiculously good. Um, One thing that I will say though that you know is like a proud moment for me is like anytime my boys do something that is really just really respectful. Um, there's
Oh
like a
yeah,
proud
sure.
moment
Yeah.
that it's like, man, I'm teaching these little turds right, man. Like the yeah, and
Papa Turd loves you.
yep, that's right. Yeah, Papa Turd loves you. When you get a little older, you might earn that freaking title of maggot, and it'll be just fine. But
Jesus Christ, dude. Stop. No, I totally get that. I
but
was I
you
was
know,
super I was super thrilled a while back earlier this year when my daughter got an award. She was like student of the month for her class because she had an award on like I forget what exactly it was, and I have it posted on Facebook, but I'm kind of in the middle of a social media fast, so I haven't been on
I
Facebook
get
all
it.
week.
I try lately. I've been
Dude,
trying not
dude,
to be
we'll,
so
we'll touch on
active
that in a little bit.
on, like, the most
It's
active I want to be lately is on our
it's our
show
page, yeah,
side. Yeah,
yeah.
because I don't want to
Other than
do
that, you're
anything
just
else on
like
the other side. Yeah.
pop smoke and fucking Dee Dee
Just
Mao out of that motherfucker. But
hell
yeah,
yeah.
so she got like I think it was like citizenship, but like it was just not citizenship, but it was like an award she got. She was student of the month, and it was just because like she was very aware of other students and whatnot, and like that to me, I was just like I get asked a lot if I want to have more kids, and I'm like I don't know. Like, I have a perfect kid. She's awesome. She's empathetic, and like that means I'm batting 1,000. If I have a kid, he comes out like, damn, it's like kind of a little bit goofy and stuff, and I'm just like, insert Carlos Mencia inappropriate stereotype here. But like if he comes out like that, I'm like, well, now I'm only batting 500. I'm like, it's totally my fault. Like, I just don't know. Like, she really is a wonderful kid. You know,
Yeah.
I just I don't want her to end up like me, where I was not the best student later in life because I was
Yeah.
lazy sack of shit. So
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm very proud of who she is and what she's becoming. And she
Yeah.
talked about wanting to be a vet, and now she's like, maybe just a vet tech.
Yeah.
Well, okay, whatever the
I'm
case may be.
recognizing that a little bit in Jade and myself. You know, the it's but it's the thing is wild. There's a lot of comparisons to both he and I when I was the same age.
Yeah,
Um, the good thing is that there's a difference for him and I that I could always, I think I could get into that a little bit later and probably later episodes, but
yeah,
for sure, knowing that I'm here, I feel like there's a little bit more, if I kick him in the ass a little, like, hey, pick up those grades, dude. You know, there's a
yeah.
little bit of a fix for that.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's also finding the right method and the way that'll motivate him properly. And there's dude,
Correct.
we could talk about that in ad nausea
And
forever. So
my thing is with Jaden, he just has a natural, just leadership quality about him that he wants to do the right thing, even if even, like, even if he does have his mess ups and then he wants to kick himself in the ass, which it's like, dude, don't, he has sometimes some pretty bad self-talk, and I have to, like, kind of, hey, dude, mm-mm.
reel him in a little bit.
Yeah. um but I tell him, I'm like, dude, like, he's just a natural leader. Kids want to follow this kid. And I I I recognize that in him, and I'm just like, dude, like, if you shape up those grades just a little bit better, along with your physicality and your ability to lead people, you're gonna be you're gonna be a freaking rock star, man. You just have to learn how to balance out everything that you're doing, honestly, because the the thing is though, his main issue is that ADHD.
Oh, and it's and let's not to correct you or anything, but it's not an issue. It's just it's something that you have to learn how to address, and
How to work through,
yeah,
like
and
I
work
did.
work with, and just incorporate into how you raise your kid and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I'm not trying to go straight RBT on you and stuff, and
No, no, no. You're good.
ABA principles, but yeah. So, but yeah, like some of those other things, the pride that you experience with your family, and like being
Hmm.
involved with a good group of people and companies and peers, and their accomplishments. You can like the last thing I want to say is I have a friend of mine who I've mentioned several times on this show, where they have had some very dramatic experiences in their life, and I'm super proud of this person because they're considering, despite all of this negativity around them, they're like, hey, I want to do something where I can impress and impose my what I've learned and all this stuff on other people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you should go do that. And I'm super proud of this person,
Yeah.
that they can take the just all of just the headache and the grief and the heartache and everything else and just focus it around. I'm like, fuck yeah, you go do that, man. Absolutely. I totally believe in you. Like, take
That
that
is
bull
how I
by the
feel about
horn.
my wife.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That is
Good
how I feel
good
about my
example.
wife. Shameless plug. If you guys haven't already, check out flipsidementorship.com. She is
Very shameless
now,
plug.
yeah, she is working. She is now working on Flipside Mentorship full time. So she does need all the help she can get in terms of trying to, figure out places where she can kind of get herself into, uh, businesses, schools, whatever, to try and
Growing the brand.
growing the brand, to try and help kids that are experiencing bullying and to teach them how to be leaders in the community and help each other out and watch out for each other when we are not able to watch out for them. So
No doubt.
please,
No doubt.
flipsidementorship.com, flipside mentorship on facebook.com. And yeah, definitely go ahead and check that out. But yeah, she's I'm absolutely 100% proud of my wife. She took a leap, man. She left a full-time job where it was stable and it was, you know,
Comfort. She left the realm of
she
this
left the
the realm of comfort
she
behind
left the
to
comfort zone
go the
to
uncertain road, and that's
per
commendable.
yes, to pursue her dream. And that's a learning moment for a lot of people. That's going to teach a lot of people to kind of just, sometimes you just have to take the leap.
Yeah.
And
That's
you know
definitely one of those moments where it's like gut
Jesus,
up.
take the wheel.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those gut up, nut up, or shut up moments. So it's like,
Yeah.
so, all right. So we covered the positive aspect of pride. So let's click over and go and talk about the potentially negative side of pride. So
Yes.
we'll start off with the fact that pride is one of the seven deadly sins, and there's a reason for that.
Yep.
One of the things. So what's the opposite of pride? Pride can be something that just can get you a little bit distracted, off target, off topic, and you're just not focusing in the right areas. So how do you countermand that? How do you counteract pride? Well, freaking staying humble. Like we say all the time. With us growing
Humility.
humility, absolutely. So that's very important, just for the sake of not getting a big ego and this and like it's great. I would love for us, the fact that we have 1,000 views on YouTube. Awesome. It would like to be more, but at the same time, I'm
Yeah.
okay with it, because we don't want to get to the point. We don't want to, I would much rather be maybe like, for example, a small country church that
Yeah.
has like 20, 30 people, as opposed to one of these mega churches where like it's just so big, and like
Yeah.
the left hand don't know what the right hand is doing, and this, that, and the other. You're just like, yeah, too much.
I'll say it this way. I'd rather us grow slowly and do it genuinely than grow super quick and become disingenuous, not only to ourselves, but to the people we're trying to serve through spreading these
Absolutely.
messages.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
So now let's look at the military side of that. So, you know, because in these these bad examples can kind of go off of people in the military side of things or in the civilian sector as well. So
Correct.
we talked earlier about having that sense of unit pride. Well, that can be a good thing, but it can also have like a negative spin on it. So, like
Yep.
I've told this story a few times where I had when I was driving for Uber, I had a guy get in my car one time, fresh out of basic training, hasn't reported for duty yet. He was going to drum, and he's like, "Oh, what'd you do?" I was like, "I was an infantry guy."
Greenhorn.
Yeah, he's a greenhorn, absolutely greenhorn. So he was like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "I was an infantry guy." He's like, "Oh yeah, where'd you go?" I was like, "I was here in the guard," and he just looked at me. He's like, "Oh, that don't count." It's like, I'm sorry, what the fuck did you say? And just having that, like, it can kind of, there's that little bit of sense of machismo that can kind of branch off of
Yeah.
pride that can be a little bit unfounded. Like, for example, you could have a National Guard guy who's deployed 5 and 6 times during Global War on Terror, okay? And you could have a guy who is a finance dude. Nothing. Now, listen. I'm just bear with me here. I'm not talking shit about anybody that's combat support or combat service support. We
Yeah.
can't. Not everybody's combat arms, and that's fine. I'm
We're
not.
all same team. Just
One team, one fight. Absolutely.
yeah.
So you got a guy who's a finance soldier who is assigned to like 82nd Airborne Division. Okay, so because he gets to wear the beret, he gets to wear the maroon beret, he gets to wear the jump boots and stuff, which those brown jump boots pretty good. The old school brown jump boots, man, they look good.
Especially in those pinks and greens.
Oh, dude, absolutely. So, but anyway, you got that guy, and he might not be a combat guy, but he's still going to get that sense of that sense of maybe a slightly overinflated sense of pride because yeah, I'm an airborne guy. You're a finance dude. Okay, that's cool. But also, you're an airborne guy, and airborne is, just a little bit better than everybody else in everything they do. And it's just kind of like that pride can kind of just breed this. What do they call it? Yeah, big dick energy. Okay, it can breed all this kind of stuff where it's just like, It's like
Yeah.
that's what I got. What do you got?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah.
what do you want to add on that, bro?
No, totally. And another thing too, like, there's, the other aspect of it where it makes you okay. Part of like being a leader is, recognizing that you're not always right. Part of a leader is also recognizing that there's a lot to be offered by the people that are around you. And there's a reason why you get joined up with people of different skill levels, different backgrounds, and everything else. It's because everybody has something to offer to the whole freaking as a whole to the pie, if that makes sense. You can't just have a pie with just the fucking
Everybody
crust.
brings their own ingredient
Everybody
to
brings
the
their own
stew. You
ingredient to
got
the
pieces.
exactly,
You got the beef. You
and
got
that's what
the
makes it
veggies.
delicious.
Yes,
So
I want stew now. Damn it!
when and that's the thing
I'm
is
going
like
to
you get a
Wendy's
lot of
after this is over. I'm getting some chili, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's the
gonna
thing too.
happen.
Because you think about the fact that there's a lot of leaders that they'll take input from their guys, and some of it can be just rabble rousers freaking trying to cause trouble or trying to just make their voices heard because they want to be the loudest guy in the room.
Compensating for other shit.
But you'll also have those guys that do speak sense, and they're trying to bring common sense to their leader's attention. They're trying to bring some kind of maybe, well, hey sir, or hey sergeant, maybe there's a different way we can do this. Is there a possible way that you can maybe hear us out, and maybe we can try and work this out together. And a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
the times you'll find those leaders, they won't listen to Jack frickin' Dookie. And let's just say
Okay, stop.
sometimes
Wait,
they
wait, wait,
get
wait, 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 wait,
people
wait, 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 wait.
hurt.
We're in 51. We're in episode 51 of the show. We can cuss. You can say jack shit. Jack freaking Dookie. Come on. We're not. Well, this isn't. We're not talking about like. We're not in kindergarten, okay? This is
Yes.
jack shit.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
Um,
I totally get what you're saying though, man. It's
but you
like,
know what I mean? Because
yeah.
sometimes that also gets people killed too, was when a leader can't
Oh,
seem to
legit.
wanna accept the fact that sometimes, the guys actually have a better idea than you, and that's not a bad thing. That's what
No, it's not.
having your guys there is for. We're here to make the group, the platoon as a whole, the company as a whole, the battalion as a whole better. None of this is done by ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Something that I take a lot of pride. I know we're talking about the negative aspect of it, and you know, there are some bad examples of
No.
military leaders out there. You can learn. I say it all the time. When I'm talking to people about it, you can learn just as much from a good leader as you can from,
From a
or
bad
you
one.
can learn just as much from a bad leader as you can from a good. And
Yep.
like, I take a lot of pride in the fact that, several of my former mentors have gone on to much bigger and better things. The last squad leader I had is now the command sergeant major for, Second Battalion of the 124th Infantry Regiment.
Yar.
Sergeant Major Pletcher. He was a staff sergeant that was my squad leader, and like, he was just amazing because he's like, listen, you're all grown-ups here. Like, you give me no reason to make you treat like a child, and I won't. I'll treat you like a fucking man. It's like,
Damn rat.
Roger that. One of my other squad leaders, when he was in E6, is now the operations sergeant major for the state of Florida for recruiting. He's a recruiting sergeant major for the state of Florida for the National Guard Bureau. It's like, it's dope. I mean, you got
Yeah.
a lot of pride in that. But so getting back to like the negative stuff, and like, it kind of just starts at like your unit. So let me ask you this: this is a note that we had on here. So did you kind of get? Okay, let me find a way. So when you get to your unit, and before it's reflagged into 3-2, um, did you kind of get, as a new private and all that stuff, new PFC, did you get like hazed a little bit and kind of like broken in, so to speak? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it was relatively tame. The ones that had a tendency to get hazed the most were fuck ups. Um,
oh, guys like me, got it.
it's so I, for the most part, didn't have that like when I first got to my unit, I didn't have that many issues, in the beginning. Um, I kind of stayed to
In the
myself
beginning,
in the beginning because I
did
mean,
it
I
get
stayed to
worse as
myself
time went on?
as leaders changed. Yes.
Oh,
Um,
conflict, personality conflict.
yeah, I
Got
would say that is very accurate. Um,
it.
and but for the most part, because I didn't. Number one, I did what I told, did what I told, did what I fucking told. Um,
Did what you were told?
Pretty much.
Okay. I was like, did what I told. I'm like, I don't
You
understand
get
your
you
vernacular.
you get the idea. Um,
Fucking weird.
but yeah, and when things needed to be done, I either volunteered or when it was something stupid, I made sure I was not seen so that way they couldn't say, "Hey, why didn't you volunteer?"
Zonk.
Yeah. Um, but it was,
If you don't
you
know what
know,
zonk is, we're not going to tell you. That's just
you're
something
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
experience firsthand. And if you don't, well, sorry. Ask a
Zonking
friend.
was the shit. I was typically almost always the first one to the door.
Yeah.
Um,
I experienced it one time, and it was guys that had been on active duty, and
you
like
were
like
stuck
like
doing
said,
shit
no,
duty.
no, 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 no. Like Cedric said, damn you can't just have one of it. Like, damn it, if you running, I'm running too. We running together.
Yeah.
So
Um, but yeah, man. The hazing, like I said, did happen. It just, it was kind of a thing of like, oh, you're a new guy, huh? Yeah, like, and like, but a lot of the times I could hang with a lot of the guys that were there. So because I could hang and because I did what I was told, and because for whatever reason my personality just with most people around me just tends to kind of work pretty well.
Right.
I, you know, for whatever reason, I just clicked with a lot of the guys.
Sure.
Obviously, my leaders, it's a
Well,
different story, but
depending on the no, but dude,
again, that's another story.
that's anybody. I mean, Jesus. I
Yeah,
mean, I started off with with a decent group of leaders. I mean, we had on Withers, who was one of my old squad leaders, and like just absolutely phenomenal, freaking stellar mentor and shit. And you know, again, just you kind of was like big boy rules. Like, all right, you're acting grown up. I'll treat you like grown up. Don't act like a stupid child. I will have you in the front lane arrest
hmm
a lot. So
a lot.
a lot. But yeah, I mean, it just you know. People get so caught up in pride, and it's like something like pride, like anything else. It's just good that you can take that in like small doses. Be proud
Yeah,
of things that you've done. Be proud of your kids and proud of their accomplishments, and take a lot of pride in the fact you're raising them up into being like non shithead people that will turn into non shithead
hmm
adults, kind of thing. So
yeah,
that's something I take a lot of pride in. But even when you go to like basic training, like you just you kind of get that overinflated sense of ego, rightfully so, because during wartime, like being infantry guys, they wanted you to kind of have that esprit de corps, that camaraderie, and all that kind of stuff. So there's a reason
yeah,
why they kind of overinflate your ego just a smidge, and this and that the other, because it just kind of leads to certain things down the road and whatnot. But
yeah.
you know,
They want that confidence and they want that
competency.
competency
Yes.
so that you can do your job effectively.
But yeah, I mean, listen, pride can be a good thing, but it can also, pride's one of those things, like it can, you see a lot of prideful people just kind of end up being like, let me find a good way to say this. Like, you can be, hmm, like you can get people that are just too prideful to admit that they're, especially like when you have like somebody with some type of personality conflict, like we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
They can be too prideful to admit that they're fucking up and fast forward. We had,
Yeah.
this. There was this one guy who was at the unit, at my old unit, and he was very prideful in the fact that he, was an NCO. He spent time on active duty 82nd, so we had a CIB, had his jump wings, this, that, and the other. But you just want to talk about just the biggest fucking cockbag. Like, just, oh my God. He came to drill and he was a total
Tool.
fucking asshole just for no reason, because this is the one time, okay, I'm a staff sergeant, but my civilian job sucks. So I'm gonna make it fucking
Mhm.
miserable for my people when I'm at drill. Like, just always out there, everybody should be bedded down, and he's out there playing fuck games. And I'm just like, I never had an opportunity to get up to that rank and that level of leadership and stuff. But I was just like, again, learning from bad examples of leadership. It's like, instead of just going out and like you can treat your guys well, or you can make them resent you by
Yeah.
playing stupid fuck games in the middle of the night when you could be bedded down. Everybody else is sleeping. You're out there sweating, fucking having ass pain because you're
I
going,
think
ugh.
that I think the kind of pride you're describing is the type of pride that comes from the inability to admit that one has faults.
Pride without humility.
Correct.
And that's something that can be so bad, right? You have somebody that's just too prideful to want to accept that they're not doing the best they can at something, or that they don't want to accept help or something like that. Like, that's hard. Like, it's such a difficult freaking thing. Like, it really
Yeah.
is, because you see that from afar. You're looking at it from a third person perspective. You're just like, do you realize, like, it just reminds me. I always go back to that. There's a scene from the movie A League of Their Own with Tom Hanks and Gina Davis talking about the All
Mhm.
American Professional Girls Baseball League, and Tom Hanks plays Jimmy Dugan, and he's talking to that one little lady. Her name's Evelyn. He's like, Evelyn, you're missing the cutoff man, and that's something I want you to work on before next season. And she's like, okay, okay, thank you, Mr. Dugan. And it's just it's such good. But he's just sitting there, and he's literally just like shaking himself into a stroke because he's like,
There's
you
no
know.
crying in baseball.
If you haven't seen that movie, man, that is such a great movie. It's so I love like period pieces like World War II stuff because just the women dress so differently, and
Mhm.
people just kind of held themselves in a different a different, what's the word I'm looking for? They just held them so they had a lot more
They carried themselves in a more reserved manner.
in a reserved
And
manner, but they also just were respectful. I mean, they
yes,
everybody like guys used to wear suits and hats and fedoras and like all that stuff. Everybody, it wasn't like it was nowadays where it's just like you look at some of the people and you're just like, huh? Why
yeah.
why is he wearing a romper? I don't get it. Anyway, I'm not picking on anybody here, but so
Yeah.
what else did you want to say on Pride, dude? I think we should start wrapping this up because we're already at like an hour or so.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that in terms of pride, like, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go just a little bit biblical, just for like a minute, like
Go
60
for it, dude.
seconds.
No, man, go for it.
Um,
Because we did
one
talk
of
about it being one of the seven deadly sins. So by all means, you're a little bit more devout in your faith and stuff. So please, by all means, expand on that.
one of the main things, and it talks about in the Bible that God hates the prideful, that God hates, having people being proud, and there's a reason for that. Um, it's that
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
I just happened to hear you hit the mic stand on your side.
The
My bad.
it's the no, you're good. It's the whole thing of, when you think you know better than others, and you think you can be better than those around you, and that you can do a better job than others without realizing that you need each other. Um, the reason why the reason why Satan was expelled from heaven was because he was prideful. It was his hubris that he wanted to be better than God. He thought he was above God. He thought he knew better than God. And when he created humanity, Satan absolutely hated it. He
Right,
created us, and then all that good stuff. And how dare you make something that I have to bow to when I'm above them? You know what I mean?
right.
Um, so pride really kind of extends from this deep, at least the negative side, this deep kind of, you know, I like to say, like, the negative side of pride kind of tends to stem from this deep kind of primal kind of, I guess, resentment that one would hold towards another person's, abilities, like, oh, well, you think you're better than me because A, or I think I'm better than you because of B, or that kind of thing. And it's we have to be very, very careful, because when we do those things, we tend to compare each other. And when we compare each other, it leads to a lot, and I mean a lot, of negative, you know, just like anything from, fighting amongst each other, to the inability to be able to relate to each other, the inability to be able to, work together cohesively, and see that, you know, we're all here trying to work towards one simple goal. All of us want to be here. All of us want to, do better for each other, for the most part. I mean, obviously there's outliers. There's people that are
pride being prideful can lead to, being stubborn, to being,
Correct.
having this air. And I guess my takeaway from this whole conversation is pride is like a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
Moderation. You
Yeah,
can have like,
absolutely.
look at, you can have like, yeah, is it having, a little bit of sugar on a cupcake, like sprinkles, great, yeah.
It
Do you
can.
need to freaking put a pound of sugar on this shit? No, because what
No.
happens? Diabetes. you know
Diabetes.
like,
I'm Wilford Brimley, and I want to talk to you about diabetes.
I knew you were gonna go there, dick. But yeah, I mean, it's just
Give me a
it's
refund.
moderation. If mine was longer, it was kind of draping over like a walrus beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand that. Looks feels like I got like a tarantula crawling on my lip. I hate that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like with anything else, I mean, there's definitely good and bad sides of it. But you can, go too far in the bad, in the wrong direction. Anything can cause problems.
Yeah.
Being prideful can be lead to being stubborn and not having any humility, and just like causing a lot of, issues with those around you. So you never
Yeah.
know. So,
It causes division, man. It sows
oh hell
division,
yeah,
and because then you get it's kind of that thing. You get the people that see, I guess, see things the way you see them, and
yeah,
they start to kind of rule, and it just, I don't know. It
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, we really have to we have to really tread carefully when it comes to things on that side of pride. We
Oh,
really have to
legit.
tread carefully, very carefully.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, so that's our chit chat on pride. By all means, please, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it. Feel free to, add in your own commentary on the stuff, on what we discussed, and we'd love to hear from you and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna stop saying stuff so much, and we're gonna finish this stuff out. So I just
Stuff.
say it again, stuff. So so we're gonna end the show like we always do, talk a little bit about, why we do this. So we had a friend of ours named John who we used to work with. John was a funny fucking dude, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So just great, solid dude. And we found out that John, unfortunately,
Hey Mac, you want a beer, bro?
yeah, um, John had some demons and ended up solving a temporary problem with a permanent solution.
No.
So, unfortunately, we can't ever get him back. But at the same time, we can stop other people from doing the same thing that he chose to do. So, when we were coming up with the idea for this, we came up with, we're talking about what we could do to keep people engaged and keep them around and whatnot. So, we came up with the Battle Bros code. And it's easy to
Battle
remember.
Bros.
All you got to do is just think about four letters: BROS. Okay, B. The first one being the letter B. Be tenacious. No matter what you do, do it to the fullest of your ability. Take pride in what you do. Being a parent, being a mentor to others, to the subordinates under you. Being the best subordinate you can be to those around you, your superiors and whatnot. Whether it's life, whether it's the military, whether it's your job, whatever the case may be, to go out and do it to the fullest. And like Ron Swanson said, don't half-ass two things, whole ass
Whole
one
ass.
thing.
Yes,
Okay,
indeed, sir.
that's the best quote ever. R, refuse to surrender. No matter what happens, you have things out there that are going to try to get you off mission, off task. Do not let those win. Okay, no matter what happens, remember where you're going. Remember the objective and what you're trying to accomplish. All right.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
o, obliterate your obstacles. When those things that come,
Oh
you done?
no.
When those things do come up, sometimes you have to get a little bit creative. You have to either go around, you have to go to the side, you know, this and that and the other. You might have to, go a mile through the woods just to get 20 feet in front of you, whatever the case may be. Okay. Obliterate those obstacles.
Pop and weave.
Don't be so prideful to the fact that it's going to cause you to, potentially miss out on relationships with other people. That's an obstacle. Being prideful is definitely
Mhm.
an obstacle and whatnot. So just remember that whatever has to happen to keep you on mission, on target, do that. And most importantly is S, seek out help in time of need. Um, there are resources out there. If you don't have the ability to call somebody that is close to you, um, a former somebody you served with, a family member. There are resources out there. You have the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which is 1-800 273 8255. Again, that's 1-800 273 8255. You can also call or text them at 988. That's 988. They have somebody that will be able to respond 24/7. If you are feeling like you need somebody to talk to, they will be there to help you and get you the help that you need, and at least get you started and get you on the path in the right direction. So just remember all of those things, and you will
Stay on the path,
stay on the
not
path.
the
So
wrong path.
exactly. So if you can remember those four things, man, you're gonna do yourself good. You're gonna be okay to go. The last thing before we close out, we do want to bring up. We have somebody that we are kind of doing a little bit of a third party advertising for. It's a very close friend of ours. She just started a business on the side. She makes homemade soaps and candles and whatnot. This is our friend. Amelia. We have the website down below. It's Sassy Girl, that's GURL, Sassy Girl Apothecary.squarespace.com. Alamo and I have both used some products of hers, and they're fantastic.
Yes, they
Not
are.
not expensive at all. I'm very sensitive. I kind of can break out if I get around the wrong stuff. Like
Mhm.
so, but this is all made from homemade ingredients and whatnot. So we told her that we'd help her out because she just got up and running. We're putting our name to it, so we're not getting anything from this as compensation
No.
or anything. This is just us saying this is some awesome shit. So please, by all
Yeah.
means, check it out. We'd appreciate if you gave her some love as well. But check it out. So, Alamo, I'm going to
Yeah.
hand this off to you. I got to disconnect the camera here for just a minute, but I will be right back. Okay. So you go ahead and do what
Yeah.
you got to do. So,
Um, as always, we'd like to go ahead and plug our social medias. If you guys would like to get with us on the Facebook, you can do that over there on the facebook.com/battlebros.podcast. You can also catch us on the Insta at battlebros_podcast. You can catch us on the Twitter at battlebrospc. On every single one of those platforms, you could go ahead and message us if you ever have any suggestions, any kind of subjects you want to hear about. If you'd like to hear about more about tips in terms of life hacks and things like that, that we honestly from time to time we do cover. Let us know about it down in the. Let us know about it in those. You can also contact us via the Goo over at battlebrospc@gmail.com, and we will answer you guys back typically within a 24-hour period. Sometimes it'll be 48, but it's a little bit more rare. If you'd like to catch us on the audio platforms, because obviously, not everybody can sit down and watch an hour podcast. You can do that.
hour and change sometimes because we get a little bit long in the tooth.
We get a little long-winded. You can catch us over on the Spotify. You can also find us on anchor.fm, where we upload episodes every week that we have an episode. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. Also, considering that there are some alternative platforms out there that we do stream to as well as upload our videos to, you can also catch us over on rumble.com. Just search Battle Bros, all one word, and you will find us in the you will find us in the search bar. Click on that, subscribe, and go ahead and hit that rumble button, not the negative rumble button. I saw one of our videos actually had a couple of them. To whoever that is, we will find. I'm kidding. No, we won't find it. Don't worry about it. But hit that rumble button and go ahead and give us some good views. Share the content that we have for you. Again, me and Mac like to say this every week. Sometimes the message is not always going to be for you. Sometimes the message is going to be for someone else that needs to hear it. So share, 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 share. Get the message out there. Um,
Nice, nice.
um,
Pay it forward and pass it along.
correct. That's right. Um, and help us spread the word so that way we can kick that statistic of 22 a day in the asshole.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, keep our guys and gals from doing something that you know will not just
Hey,
hurt them but
what's going on,
everybody else
Withers?
out
Miss you
there.
too, brother. He just showed up in the chat. So
What's happening with us?
what's up, man? But yeah, like we were saying, it's I want to close out by saying this. When Alamo originally approached me about the idea of doing a podcast, I was very, very skeptical. I was like, dude, I don't know shit about a podcast. And he looked at me, he's like, well, dude, they sent a fucking, yeah, every day is a struggle. Amen to
Yeah,
that,
it
brother.
is, man.
He looked at me and he was like, dude, they sent a monkey into space. How hard can it be? I'm like, valid point. So, but this has turned into one of the things that I am most proud of. Taking this, taking a personal tragedy and turning it into a call to action, just to make sure that we keep as many veterans around as possible. They have a story that needs
That's
to be
right.
told. Get them the help that they need, and that's anybody. Not, I mean, yes, we focus on veterans, first responders, that kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's anybody that needs help. You know,
Right.
there's sometimes just missing out on an hour or so of sleep to sit there and talk to somebody long distance and just let them just kind of like unload all that stuff that they're going through. Um, um, yeah, they sure as hell did. Um, what was it? Oh yeah, so just being there for somebody, just giving them the gift of your time of listening to them. Shut up.
No.
Okay. Giving them the gift of your time to let them know, like, hey, they're not alone. That's a big deal. Not everybody has that, but if you do, I mean, don't take that for granted. I am super proud of those that are around me that I have in my life. I don't have a lot of friends. I just have extended members of the family, different various degrees. You have some that are like, yeah, and it's like, okay, I sent you a Christmas card. I'll see you next year. I hate to say that, but it's important not to get too prideful for the wrong things to
Correct.
cause somebody to you never know. There's life's a gifted, every day is a gift, so just try to remember that. But I am super proud of this guy over here on my side. He pretty much sold me on this idea, and this has turned into something that, like,
Yesterday,
even
what,
even though we can have a crap week, it's like we do this and it's like, all right, I did my little part and did some good in the world.
there's
So
a saying that I feel like went with what you were just saying earlier. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday is the past. Tomorrow is the future, but today is the present. And
oh yeah.
that's why they call that's yesterday, or excuse me, but today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Excuse me.
Okay.
That's what it
Oh,
was.
that sounded good. That sounded good. I like that. So, but anyway, we're super proud to be a part of this. Especially in memory of our friend John. And if any time that we can stop, somebody from going down that negative path, that's what we're trying to do. So, as we said, pass it along. This may not always be about you, it may about
Damn
getting
right.
somebody down the road. So if you can help them get that, we would be humbly and appreciatively thankful. That was redundant, but we would appreciate it a whole
A little
lot,
bit.
a little bit. So anyway, I'm going to shut
Redundancy
up now.
occurs
So
every once in a while.
what's that?
I said redundancy occurs every once in a while.
Yeah, sure does. But anyway, so that's our talk on pride. This has been episode 051. Again, thank you for everybody out there who has helped us slowly grow our channel. We now have 1,000 views on YouTube. That is amazeballs. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Awesome. All that good shit. We're going to, keep on the grind of doing this every week that we can. And yeah, we're not going anywhere. So until the
Damn right.
next time, this is Mac. That's Alamo over there. And we are the Battle Bros Podcast. Thanks for stopping by, giving us a listen. Just remember the 4 easy parts of the Battle Bros code: be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles, and seek out help in a time of need. If you can do those
Damn
four
right.
things, you're going to be okay. And we will help you through that. So until the next time, thank you so much. And this has been the Battle Bros podcast. We are signing off for this week, and hope you all have a good one, and we'll see you down the road.
Battle Bros out.
Bye.